What's good, it's poppin' YouTube fam? We back in the reaction video. We got Eustace with Soul Eater. It's crazy. It is. Soul Eater is top 10, top 15 all time. Might be at 10. Might be at 10 or 9. I had to go through my list. Making the list of just like your top 10 favorite is kind of like hard. It's hard to do. But Soul Eater is hard though. Soul Eater's tough. Black Star, of course, but you know, I'm a Scythe girl. You know what I'm saying? She get crazy. She gets crazy with Soul. She get crazy with Soul. Who's the what was the snake lady? I forgot her name. I ain't watched Soul Eater in so long. I can't remember her name. It probably was Medusa. I feel like it was Medusa. It probably was. Stein was hard. It was too many hard characters on there, to be honest. But that's neither here nor there. My boy Eustace channel is going to be linked down below along with the video. Make sure you go show some love. Hit the sub button, all that good stuff. You know, we got to hit the like. Ooh, hope the power don't go out. Make it full screen. Burden. Let's get right into it.
Hot single moms in your area, a generous Jew, Australian people, all things that aren't real. But you know what is real? Soul Eater. If I had to pick between Soul Eater and my best friend, just hand me the shotgun gun and call me Lil Uzi, because all my friends is dead. If you haven't seen Soul Eater, you're retarded. This is one of my first animes, and after I seen a naked cat bit, I mean, Soul's amazing design, which I ain't gonna lie, he got that shit on, bro. You can't even lie, bro.
He slides. He fires.
And Maka too. I mean, look at the whole cast. They didn't miss on one single character. Anyways, my name is Eustace. I'm a Haitian dude from Stingleberry, Oregon, and let me cover Soul Eater in case you haven't seen it. A sound soul dwells within a sound mind. In a sound body. No one cares about this shit, bro. Let me get to the point, bro. Welcome to Deathmeister Academy. Hey, we got like niggas with like scythes. We got niggas with like ninja stuff. We got niggas with skateboards. Yo, we got everything here, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. The DWMA is a school that trains students to hunt down Kishin. Basically crackheads, but instead of begging for $1, they eat people's souls. The students of this school, though, nah, they move and
get rid of them.
You disrespect my hood by telling me take off my flag, asking how gangster I was, nigga. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz.
Either they wield weapons or can transform into weapons. These are some of the main characters, Maka the Meister and Soul the Death Side. They started getting into this phase with this dude hitting all type of moves. Jumping off the building too, just like an uppercut on the side. They was really in the middle of the street throwing down. Like, are we out here in Gotham? What's happening? Maka is 13 years old here, by the way, jumping off this nigga's head. We gotta get an instant replay. She had her big ass boots, ghetto ass stilettos on top of his head, bruh. He thought I was gonna let his build slide too? Well, I'm not, buddy. You're built like a pile of shit. I don't know what type of failed abortion you need to go through to look like this, bruh, but I'm sorry. There's no way you don't look in the mirror and get disappointed every time. And she got this man stun locked in the animation.
On me. Look at him, ugly.
Just for her to spin back and put this man in a montage. Like, you can't even lie, this going in her highlight reel.
It is. You know I'm really shiesty. Ain't that, yep.
This right here was their 99th Kishin soul. Now all they need is a witch soul, and basically, Soul Eater will evolve. They went back to report to their boss at 4242564 to knock on Death's door. This is Death. Now, bro, goofy for real, but around here, he is running things. I've collected another op soul, sir. Well done. Yo, I can't. Well done, Master Maka. You're almost as great as your mother. Yo, Soul Eater, bro. If you touch my daughter's soul, I'm finna have to eat your soul. Nigga,
I'ma do you dirty.
Nobody wants your daughter. She chopped. Tell me why this man was bending the glass. Bro was so
how do you do that,
physics, bro? Risking his whole manhood here, booty out in the open. All right then, Maka, I'll see you. I love you. I will never call you my dad. Get a job, nigga. Anyways, Death explains, challenging a witch is risky because they're extremely powerful, and if they mess up, all the souls collected will be revoked. So they went to go see this witch named Blair, and I can't even show what she was doing, bro. But she is so bad, bro. I had a crush on her for like 10 years now, bro. I can't even lie to you, bro. They decided to bust into her crib, and what this man saw made him fold under zero pressure. Them knockers had a knock. But Maka tried to lock in and defeat her. Unfortunately, though, she upped that Slug Terror blaster. They tried to spin back and catch her lacking, but she caught them easily and then used her strongest technique. The next day they came back, she was waiting for them this time and pulled out a bomb. She was out here fighting like the Vietnamese,
She was
bro.
on
I
they-
got a bomb
she
in a
was
bush.
blitzing.
But next time, they had home court advantage, fighting out in the city, and they was treating like the Avengers, bro, destroying everything.
Destroying
but Blair was
everything.
like, hey, Soul, why don't you come stay with me?
I'm Soul's
And-
partner, not you, okay? Our conversations don't concern you.
You talking about this girl right here?
Right here.
My wife? You talking about my wife?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. First of all, Maka, watch your fucking mouth, nigga.
Right,
Anyways,
please.
I just gotta say though, bro. Like
My
me
girl, though.
personally, hey, I would have folded, bro. I would
Thanks, I
have
would've
been
been
over there
right over
kissing
there.
her feet, kneeling down, bro.
Everything.
Barking too, might as well. Hey,
don't know
nah,
about
you
barking.
can't even lie, bro. Everyone watching this video, I mean, all of us, like we are bending down and kissing Blair's feet. Like you can't even lie.
Nah, I don't know
but
about
the
that
fade
one.
continues, and she sends her sleeves out flying, while Maka turns into prime LeBron James, trying to dunk on Blair, but her
The
card
hops
got
is
declined.
crazy.
Blair came back with a massive pumpkin. Then her hat turned into a hand and threw Maka all over, landing on this building. Maka was asking Soul, what should they do? And my boy switched up. He dropped her off into the trash can, then hit this pose. Ain't no way. What type of aura farm is this?
Like-
What, you thought I wasn't gonna switch up when she got all them gigawatts on her chest? You supposed to slime your day one homies and unfollow all them. Cardi did it, then I gotta do it too. Ain't
Nah,
no
that's
way that
crazy.
he just hit her with the my main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
My main goal.
Maka got into a flashback that her dad left, and she's so.
Nobody cares.
Anyways, listen, my girlfriend told me she had a dream I cheated, and as her boyfriend, it's my job to make sure all her dreams come true at all times.
That's
so I
facts.
always make sure to stay cheating. But anyways,
Right.
Soul was acting the whole time, and Maka pulled up 200 pumping Blair, claiming her soul to eat. And Soul was like, oh, I can feel the power. I can feel so much power.
then
Oh,
nothing
shit, never
happened.
mind. Because that wasn't a witch. Blair is literally a cat with a crazy amount of motion for no reason.
My bro,
wait. So I
please.
covered this all for no reason? Bro. Oh my
Yeah.
but wait, actually, I need you to keep watching. Not just because I need money, but because my GOAT is here.
I need
Black Star,
to-
the ninja,
Oh,
had
big
caught
Black
all the
Star.
ops lacking. There was 100 souls in total. So he pulled up directly on them and had to announce that he is him with his partner, Tsubaki. And they just pose on him, started
Yeah.
blasting. So
And
much
then,
for him
like-
being a ninja. Luckily, his weapon has
He's
multiple
the
forms,
loudest-
so he pulled out a smoke bomb and got up
the
out of
loudest
there.
ninja
But
in
either
the
way,
room.
who made these guys gangsters? They look like Discord mods. How did he find 10 different dudes with the same pedophile haircut? Bro hired the Dream SMP to be his gangsters, yo. Yo, like, what ethnicity are these individuals? Like, I'm interested in calling them
dirty.
a slur, but I'm not sure which one.
They're
Anyways,
dirty.
what's goated about Black Star is he hasn't collected a single soul, but him and Soul Eater are still locked in. The school's principal called him up, and he said, damn, y'all trash, not a single soul. And bro said some, yo, don't worry, twin, I got an autograph for you right here. I know you want that.
Crazy.
Death had to put this man to bed
Crazy.
for that blasphemy, I ain't gonna lie. But the man they didn't kill yesterday is now on his way to a witch so he can become a Kishin. And I'm telling you, that boy Black Star was running off to slide. And there was
he
really
was
100
ready to
balls
slime
waiting.
him.
But not just that, there was Mifune. Now y'all about to see, this man is really him. Throughout the whole
Really?
show, he was standing on business.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
It's not clocking
It's
to
not
you.
clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
But it got even crazier. When Black Star arrived, everyone was already dead. And here comes Mifune trying to smoke this man. Yo, why is you in my section? Because I'm Black Star. I don't check in nowhere. Tsubaki
That's
decided
facts.
to
He
transform.
don't.
And he said, compared to a man as big as me, you see how small you are. I understand. I get scared looking in the mirror. This man has no business talking like that. Like his writing low-key
me.
fire. But
It
Mifune
is.
threw up 100 swords and even some caution tape. Now he knows wherever he fights, it's a caution zone. Nah, he's
He
in.
said it's a
Anyways,
body.
Black Star threw a scythe, snatching
Likely for
Mifune's
a
sword out of his
body.
hands. But bro already had another one, and he's coming down on Black Star. Then
100
grabs another
swords.
one, and Black Star had to dip up out of there just to get a free Mifune haircut. But he said he's finna turn Mifune into me and Fune. This man threw a big ass ninja star trying to cut bro right in half. But Mifune jumped up and sat on top of it. Tsubaki had to turn into a smoke bomb for Black Star to come in with that down slam, and apparently Mifune
But
was
it was
trained by
too
Tom
loud.
Brady. Bro threw his sword like the Super Bowl was on the line. He low-key slumped up Black Star too, and ain't gonna lie.
Literally.
But then he got back up and told Tsubaki go into sword mode. They was having a little walk around, and I was waiting for the big moment, like, yo, like what's gonna happen here? Like, can we get it
Nothing.
started? And then he disappeared. They used the Genjutsu, oh my lord. Pulled up from behind, gave Mifune some back shots, and said, I am the star. You lose. Nah, you're him, big bro. Had this man on the
You
floor
are
like a
him.
bum. He was about to finish bro until the witch pulled up, and it turns out she's just a kid. Once Blackstar found out she's a kid, he decided they ain't even worth his time and went
At
home.
all.
Mind you, this guy's one of the final villains, and Blackstar just spared his life in his introduction episode. Some people don't like these introduction episodes, but if you ask me, Soul Eater went 2 out of 2 on 10 out of 10 episodes, bro. These just fire.
Facts.
We have one more introduction episode before things really get started. We've seen a bank in Death City getting robbed by Super Nigga, and my first question was,
Hey, what you doing
This
out here
dude
with all
did?
this ass?
Alright.
Double cheeked up on a
Alright.
Thursday afternoon.
he's
Ah.
running with his cheeks out while getting blasted by twin
You know who
Glocks being
that
held
is.
upside down while this
I
man's
got
standing like
two twin
Itachi
Glocks
in a
turning to a
suit too.
dance,
Oh my
son.
lord. This man was cornered watching 2 Glocks turn into 2 baddies. They said to unite the people in our nation to protect the world from devastation or whatever they say, something like that, okay?
Yeah.
This right here is Lord Death's son, Kid, and he's obsessed with symmetry. That's why he's got 2 guns and 2 thoughts. If you're not
Yes,
convinced
sir.
he's him, did I mention he's a flying skateboard? Yeah, he's
Look
doing
at him.
skate 2 glitches in real life. He's him.
In
He had a
real
pull to some
life?
Egyptian temple, and he was walking inside and seen everything was symmetrical until they ran into some freaky mummies, and the girls decided it's time to catch that fade. And when they turned around to fight, Death the Kid was nowhere to be
Got
seen,
ghosts.
but there was a letter. I'm going back home to check on my painting in the living room. I have a feeling that it's slightly leaning to the left. Good luck in there, Liz and Patty. Bro left his team behind for a painting. I don't even
Yo,
understand
he
art,
takes
man.
the symmetry
They be paying
real
$300K for something like this. I could piss on a canvas and they call it deep and emotional art. I don't know.
Literally.
But luckily, Kid's weapons can handle themselves. They switched these boys down. She even turned to a gun, then switched back into a human
Yeah,
and
they
swapped
was
places.
moving. They was
Meanwhile, down
moving.
the hall, there's a witch summoning an ancient pharaoh. Oh,
Ugly.
Pharaoh, serve me now. Oh, shit. Oh!
Got-
The pharaoh was out here moving like Toji when that grandma revived him. He really
Got
dropped her off
Packazoid.
the same way Liz dropped me and left me behind. I miss everything we had, like a snowflake
Crazy.
to a flame. Every time I melt to her touch. Bro, what am I talking about, bro?
What are you
But Kid
talking
finally came
about?
back, and he used his skateboard to block the Pharaoh's moves. Then did a kickflip to free Liz and Patty. Wait,
Look-
Liz? No, that's just call me once, bro. Anyway,
It's okay,
they turned
bro.
back into guns, but
It's
Kid
okay,
throws up.
bro.
It got punched. Hit that boy with the punch of punishment. Bro said he refuses to fight this Pharaoh because it's perfectly symmetrical in every way. He was really willing to die over this too. The Pharaoh pulled out a
Actually.
comically large hammer and started beating
And
him with
started
it
banging
repeatedly
on him.
until he
Gavel.
opened up his face and climbed out. Kid awakened like his mom just came home and he
And
forgot
he
to take
was
the meat out of the
pissed.
freezer. He realized the Pharaoh's true form wasn't symmetrical and up both of these
He
guns
was-
on him, started blasting his man while talking some shit.
Yo,
He was moving like
put
Roy
holes
Mustang
in him.
fighting that one dude. Alright, I ain't gonna lie, bro. He was blasting. He took this personally. I have never seen body shaming quite like
Didn't
this.
have- didn't
Now that
even
we've
have
seen
to
our main
unload like
characters, Maka and Soul Eater, the Ninja Blackstar, and Lord Death's son's Kid, we can finally start the story. Man, I'm like 10 minutes in, bro. How am I gonna
It's
do
okay,
this?
though.
In the next episode, Maka and Soul were called by Lord Death, and on their way there, they made the foolish mistake of showing their back to Blackstar. He was about to annihilate them, but uh-oh, he was caught in the act. Never mind.
He was
Lord Death
too-
says their teacher died and was turned into a zombie, so they have to slide on their old teacher and put him back into
But
the
he
grave.
can't-
And if
hey,
they fail,
another
they're expelled.
dope
So they head
character.
out, and they're on this Dead by Daylight map. And this man's soul was tweaking. Bro was on smoke the whole time.
Stop playing with me. I'm trying to catch him.
I'm trying to catch a hat.
Catch him.
Look at him.
Catch him.
Tweaking.
Why don't we go piss on Sid's grave? What do you think about that?
Yeah, and while we're at it, why don't we take a dump on it too?
Sid heard they were
Why?
gonna take a shit on his grave and went from Sid to Slid. Maka got
On
lucky
me
that Soul came to
to
stop.
Slider
This
Team.
man was out here fighting with his own grave and giving lessons about matching soul wavelengths. Bro pulled up and slam dunked Blackstar. It looked atomic, but that's
Look
when
at
he
the-
got back up, throwing both his scythes around Sid, and
Ah,
Paul
he
got
moving.
kicking him in the
Blackstar
rib.
cold.
He tried the combo extender, throwing his ninja star, but Sid just
Nope.
hopped on it and did a
2-3
backflip.
on
Bro
his
is
shirt.
literally a zombie and is out here ore farming in the afterlife. But this time, Blackstar was ready,
And he
catching
got
Sid
it
in his
on.
chains and Maka too. I don't know if that was intentional or not. But the final mission was finding the person who turned Sid into a zombie. Turns out the person that turned Sid was the
Stein.
strongest Meister in all of the DWMA, Dr.
Stein.
Frankenstein. So they pulled up to this man's front door and he popped out on a rolling chair and just fell over. Who made this goofball the best Meister? He even went back inside to try all over.
redo
and fell
it,
Again. Not everyone built for this
Sorry.
ore farming, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. They were having a normal conversation
He's
until
sorry.
Blackstar said, I'm not trying to hear no conversation unless it's about me. How did bro spawn on this building though?
Why
He
did you
pulled up
get
on
up there?
Stein to get blocked in the chair. Then he rolled up on bro and dropped him. There's no way. Then he rolled up on Maka, and this man doesn't even need a weapon. He is the weapon. He grabbed Maka by the hair and started being creepy once again, so Blackstar had to pull up and use his ult. But that boy Stein got really high defense. He ate that whole attack and just stood there because his soul is strong. He then pulled up on Blackstar and fried his brains like the iPads be doing to y'all. So Maka and Soul Eater had to use Soul Resonance locking in, pulling out a move called Witch Hunter, and I'm like, let's go Maka. Oh shit, Stein blocked with his bare hands. Okay, so with this, they get a passing grade. Yes, this was all just a test. In episode 6, Stein is now their new teacher, and Kid is now going to the DWMA. So Blackstar and Soul Eater wait outside for him, deciding to jump him on his first day of school. I don't know why they did this. I have no idea.
The worst
Either way,
mistake they could have
Kid sauced both of them up in the reverse jumping. They decided to use a Dragon Ball Fusion so they could finally put an end to Kid, but Blackstar ended up almost killing himself. But they still decided to say Kid's a bum and he's sorry. Unfortunately, they weren't aware his guns turned into goobas, and this wasn't a fade, this was an act of terrorism. In the next episode, we get to see our first villain, Medusa, and her femboy. She's been training to be a Kishin. While in the act of eating human souls, Soul and Maka catch her slipping. You see, this person is Demon Sword Krona, and her weapon is literally inside her blood. Maka pulls up on Krona, doing a backflip, turning into a double knee to the face. I ain't gonna lie, run that back one time, that was clean. But it turns out, when you cut Krona, she gets even stronger. She can control her blood, and it's as hard as steel. Plus, her weapon can disrupt souls. And she literally pulled out her own Getsuga Tensho, which Soul had to block using his own real body. You cannot tell me he ain't real for that. It was looking like they were cooked though, until Stein pulled up, kicking down the door with Maka's dad as his weapon. Stein then beat the brakes off Krona.
Yeah, start moving so crazy. Stein had no reason to do this. He had a reason, but
it was a struggle because the more you beat her, the more blood you have to worry about. She was still getting cooked though, so Medusa had to pull up and save her daughter. Soul was taken to the hospital while Maka cries.
Soul! Are you okay? It's going to be alright! Blackstar's here for you now! Open your eyes! One look at my big handsome face and you'll be cured for sure! Blackstar, no!
Pulling on this man's eyes, what is wrong with bro? But then the doctor pulled up, Dr. Medusa. She didn't even change her name.
She didn't even change the name.
All she did was turn her braid the other way. Who is out here checking IDs at the DWMA? We need better security, bro. Who is
Dr.
this?
Turns out, man.
Soul is now infected with the black blood, causing him to have terrible nightmares. While that was happening, Blackstar and Kid went to get the legendary sword, Excalibur. And if you're wondering why the strongest weapon in history was still up for grabs, look at him. It's because this nigga's so annoying and gay. Nobody wants to kick it with bro. He keeps yapping and yapping.
He's a loser.
He asks stupid questions like, what's your favorite number between 1 and 12? And then says, who are you to pick the best number? He's so annoying, they left him there behind and ended the episode. In episode 10, Tsubaki and Blackstar get sent to her old village to find an enchanted sword. And why nobody tell me Tsubaki really from the trenches though? When Blackstar arrives, he's stoned by the people for being Star Clan. So they had to run up out this city while getting hit with stones. And it's like, why you hitting Tsubaki, bro? What's she doing?
Like
this is when we find out the Star Clan was moving like 2013 King Von. So they had to get smoked by Lord Death. Everyone besides Blackstar. But at the same time, the enchanted sword is out here possessing people. Luckily, Blackstar pulled up and made bro kiss his shoe. They were out here scrapping when we seen the enchanted sword has mad hacks. Bro summoned a shadow, but Blackstar outspeeds him. He was out here leaving after images. Didn't matter though because he slipped in the mud and then cracked his balls on a pipe. But he did get back up using Soul Resonance, making a star as his weapon. Then catching this man in the animation while Tsubaki hopped inside the enchanted sword's soul because they're actually siblings. And apparently her brother hates her for being the chosen special weapon. While Tsubaki was fighting with him in the soul world, Blackstar was protecting her real body while the village was beating him for being Star Clan. They had one of the best fights with crazy animation, and this came out in 2008. Tsubaki got stuck inside the enchanted sword though, and we got one of my favorite scenes. Blackstar begged Tsubaki to come out on stage. Encore Tsubaki, encore Tsubaki, give us an encore. Turns out, she actually defeated her brother and conquered the demon sword. This was a peak arc, and you should go watch this. In episode 12, we see Medusa at the witches meeting, and hey, Mifune is here. But still, Medusa was getting pressed by these other witches until she put her hands in their mouth and infected them with snakes. She then goes to check on Soul, and for the first time, we get to see the Black Blood world. It's this little ugly demon that dances.
Bro, so
this right here did unreversible damage to me as a kid.
Yo, it scared me, bro.
This is my PFP for like 10 years, I'm not even joking. At this point, Medusa forces the frog to free the man with the magic eye. And she managed to do that extremely easily, to be honest, because they got the same guards in Roblox Jailbreak. Like, it was too free. He's like some immortal werewolf guy that's famous for robbing the Grand Witch, so yeah, he got motion. The next episode is filler, but it was so funny when I was a kid, bruh. Their whole class has a super important test. So to get the answers, Blackstar breaks into Stein's house just to get caught lacking in bro's crib. Next morning, he was found hanging. This is something the cartel would do. They made an example out of bro. The
made
test
a big
starts,
example.
and I think only Maka studied for this. Because Soul wrote all the test answers inside his clothes. His whole fit was a cheat sheet. There is no way he fails. There's no way he even gets caught. Oh my god, he got caught in scripting class. No way. How did bro go out sad like this? Meanwhile, Kid spent the whole test trying to write his name symmetrically. And Liz and Patty, yeah, they're both brain dead, I'm not gonna lie. Soul thought about it and realized Blackstar already seen the test as answers. He was gonna write the answers on the board as his dying wish for Soul. And Soul was ready for this. He was waiting. Oh my gosh, he just wrote his autograph. Not too much in this episode, but I thought it was so funny as a kid.
I would have killed
watching
Blackstar
it now. In episode 18, they're celebrating the creation of the DWMA. In here, we got one of the worst depictions of a black person. Who is this guy?
Yeah,
we do not look like this. Oh damn, maybe we do. Just some of us though. Stein asked Medusa to dance, and at first I thought, wait, he has game, like he got rich. Then he dropped a bombshell saying, "I know you're a witch," and we learned there's a fully grown Kishin sleeping below the DWMA. At this time, Medusa escapes, and the werewolf man drops a barrier on the DWMA. But luckily, the main cast escapes in time. So the main characters in Stein are now trying to stop Medusa from reviving the Kishin. Apparently, Lord Death ripped his skin off and then locked him inside of it. So I don't think he's gonna be very happy when he wakes up. Him just being alive makes people go insane. Stein catches up with Medusa and runs the fade with her, while Maka wants a rematch with Krona. And she decided, instead of cutting her, she's just gonna beat the dog shit out of her, while holding her in place with her side. She literally used a double kick to her face. So this man Krona had to completely lock in. This was way too disrespectful. We seen Krona's backstory, and it's kind of sad. She stays getting disrespected, and Medusa is low-key just an L mom. But Soul Eater wasn't trying to hear none of that sad backstory. He linked up with the devil, which made him take over Maka's body, and she went insane. At this time, Maka was not herself, eating all these sword attacks just to smack Krona up, grabbing her by the head and smacking her face into a pillar. This low-key nightmare fuel, I ain't gonna lie, bro. As a kid, this had me a little shook. Like how Maka and Krona's souls fused during this fight, and this is when she decided she wanted to help Krona after seeing her true self. Meanwhile, Kid was fighting with the werewolf man and put max passion into trying to blast bro away. But come on now, he's literally immortal. Also, that was just his shadow clone too. His real body was trying to free the Kishin, but just being near bro made them tweak out and geek. Like, what do these villains be expecting, bro? You heard this man's the most evil creature in the world, and you want to bring him back for what purpose? He's gonna kill you too. But they still brought him back, and I'm telling you, bro, when he came back, the good to evil ratio in the world had changed. Just him being alive turned the sky red. He whooped Blackstar without even touching him, then flicked Kid in his incomplete form and almost popped bro's head, and then turned his own skin into a new outfit. He then pulled up on Lord Death himself and revealed he regrew his dreads. They was going aura for war right here, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. But Death wasn't playing. He put out the volleyball spike on my boy Ashura. But after he fell down, he just laughed it all off, trying to use his scarves to grab Death. But that boy got the final flash coming right at Ashura. So he started doing Haitian magic, and I'm actually very familiar with this technique and the counter technique that Death used, trying to hold Ashura in place. Mind you, Death was doing all this without a weapon, which is even crazier because Ashura and his weapon are fused. That's the only reason Ashura was able to escape Death City. So for the DWMA in the whole world, it is not looking good. Ashura is not supposed to be free.
If I was there,
in episode 25, we see that Krona has been captured by the DWMA, and Death calls all the Death Sides to the building. And here, we see my boy Justin. He got them Death AirPods in, didn't hear a single thing his boss said. I think he said he was bumping that little Uzi, but I do not have confirmation on that. In episode 28, Stein starts tweaking from the snake Medusa put inside of him. Them snakes got perk 30s inside, I don't know. Meanwhile, Death Weapon Marie and Maka try to show Krona a much better life. They was just being real homies for real. But Kishin Ashura's madness has also waken up Lady Arachne and their whole gang of villains. They're out here collecting legendary items, and while doing so, Blackstar was out there and caught Mifune working for them. He decided on sight they need to run this fade for the second time. Mifune pulls up getting blocked, then uses his foot grabbing a sword, trying to hit this man Blackstar, but he immediately counters. Mifune then runs on his swords, trying to catch Blackstar with the last one. You see, their first fight wasn't the final. Just right here, this one's serious. Blackstar then pulls out his enchanted sword mode, but Mifune blocks blocks all the shadows. He has some hacks or something. Then pulls up and combos Blackstar with about 12 swords. This man thinks he's Killer B. What is happening here? But in episode 34, when everyone's recovered, Lord Death explains Lady Arachne will be going after a magic tool called Brew. This is so important. He sends off the whole DWMA to slide. There's also some magnetic field that prevented from going inside. Sid caught Mifune lacking, trying to snipe that bro, but he used his future sight and blocked it. He then made a stairs of swords running up on Sid. They had to play this little game of hide and seek while they were fighting in the snow. It was fire. Meanwhile, the academy students were out here fighting some rookies. Nobody here you need to worry about, I'm not gonna lie. They're all trash. Besides my black brother Ogun. Wait. That ain't even Ogun, this is Gohan. Who is this guy? But Maka, Kid, and Blackstar decide to go into the static zone. Once they're inside, they run into Lord Death before he made it out the hood. They find out what they're seeing is the past, and this right here is a witch's meeting. Arachne is there too, and she has the Book of Abon. Abon is the master builder and inventor of the tool Brew. Meanwhile, while they're trying to explore, they run into this little dude carrying his lunchbox. Like, how is this guy 7 years old and 70 at the same time? But that's when he decided he was finna power up. Bro turned into Geodude from Pokemon damn near. Anyways, Blackstar pulls up first, trying to gut this man like a fish, but he just eats the whole thing. So Blackstar decides to pop ult off spawn with his enchanted sword mode, running up with his shadows, then having Maka and Kid stacked behind him. But bro just yelled and blasted them off, then ran at Maka like this, like, what is this guy doing, bro? This is literally a one-piece build. I'm not tired of it. He then smacked Blackstar into a brick pillar, then turned into a ball, rolling into the air, and hit that double R. Soul then plays the evil piano, linking all their souls, buffing them. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this was a bad jumping for Mosquito. Blackstar used his enchanted sword, pulling Mosquito close to him, then cut off both of his arms. Maki even pulled out a new move called Genie Hunter, cutting Mosquito in half. I'm not gonna lie, this man got cooked with 800 years of experience. He had to escape, bouncing off his nose with just a head like his buggy or something. He somehow made it back to Arachne, revealing that Brew is broken. But truly, Medusa had spies inside the organization and swapped out the original Brew. She then goes to the DWMA and gives them Brew to negotiate. She also says Arachne is working with the Kishin. Turns out the Kishin just like me for real, okay? All he needs is a big goth mommy. Alright, he real for that. But this is when the show starts getting a little confusing, so hold on here. Stein is now being completely trolled by Medusa, so Marie and Krona go off to handle her once and for all. Meanwhile, the rest of the DWMA is W King Arachne. But Marie and Krona end up getting whooped because Medusa has home court advantage. Krona was about to die until Maka showed up, and things were getting personal because nobody hates Medusa more than her. Hates her so much, she pulled up and destroyed her soul. Meanwhile, Blackstar runs into Mifune for the third fade, and this time he wasn't playing around. My boy pulled out the Super Saiyan Blackstar, then runs upon Mifune for their final slash. And they hit that typical swordsman standoff until Mifune dropped. He literally got one-shotted by Blackstar. Meanwhile, Lord Death used Brew to turn Death City into a robot mech. I don't know, bro. This is what happens when you go off from the manga. I don't know. He then destroys Arachne's base and swallows them completely. But that also brings the Kishin to Lord Death. So it's Kishin Ashura versus Lord Death, but this time he is a weapon. They set out by releasing their souls. And wait, what is bro doing here? He thinks this is a UFC, like he just came for a cameo? Anyways, Ashura shoots a blast at Lord Death, but he just eats it using his hand. Bro got the Toon Force. And I know he did not just burp it out in front of him. He then pulls up on Ashura, and my boy hit the Matrix move, dodging all these hits. He finally cuts his man in half though, and it turns out he knows Genjutsu, appearing above Lord Death and going for the blast for blast with him. But Lord Death was low-key working him, hitting this man with a soul blast, then pulled it from behind with a down slam. I'm not gonna lie, Ashura was eating all these attacks, but he was getting cooked. He then goes for the soul resonance with Spirit, pulling out some crazy attack, but he missed it, I'm not gonna lie to you. So he just starts beating the dog shit out of Ashura. So this man got desperate and had to shoot a shot at Kid. So Lord Death had to go and tank it for him. And this was the only way Bro could have ever beat Lord Death.
It's just like when they did,
but anyways, Ashura then dips, pulling up on his girl, but decides to slime her instead so he can get even stronger. So then Kid, Maka, and Blackstar decide they're going to handle him, and they was moving different. Blackstar pulled up, swing at him, Kid went and took his shots, then Maka pulled up with Genie Hunter. Unfortunately, all their attacks weren't doing much though. They was out here taking turns on his new form, but Bro really is the final boss with all that HP. But that's when Soul's Devil finally snakes him, and at this point it was all downhill because Maka was out the game. It's like when Holly Burton hurt his leg in the final game, bro. It's getting bad. Blackstar and Kid were getting blasted by the Kishin, and I mean he did Mega Evolve though, so Kid had to get up and use all his power into shooting this man. Bro had the Clash of Clans Golden Cannon. This destroyed the Kishin's Mega form, leaving his real body down to Blackstar. Meanwhile, Maka was freeing Soul from the devil. When they came back, Blackstar and Kid were slumped. The Kishin really got some hands. Maka tried to use Genie Hunter, but he just grabbed her out the air and threw her. So she got
It would
right back
never
up,
happen to me.
putting all her
It would
power
never
into a
happen
new
to me.
attack called Kishin Hunter. She got a direct hit on this man, and then he just said,
But
nah, it's not gonna work on me, broski. Hit the drawing board. I mean, his
the
powers is
draw-
in there just
it
doing
was-
whatever he wants at this point. Someone please stop him. He then went to blast Maka off the earth, but Soul tanked the hit for her. So this man's soul is out
He
for the
always-
count. But this right here
always
is what made
tanking.
her lock in. Turns out, Maka was a weapon this whole time. Or she's both, I honestly don't know. She then
Yeah,
told the Kishin she's Maka Alborn, and she's scared of no smoke. This right here, bro couldn't understand. I don't know. It's like typical anime stuff. What do you want me to say? This weekend, the
She
Kishin
started
enough
going
for her to run
crazy.
up and punch this man's face into submission. This defeated
started
him,
going
freeing the world
crazy.
from madness. And well, that's the end of Soul Eater, man. Let me know how y'all like it, you know what I'm saying? Me with the long upload. Stop texting me on Instagram, calling me a lazy bum, alright? I was working on this video.
I used to be into edging, but then I found out about Goonie. Yes! And I'm into
Yeah.
black girls because I'm not Cooney. My meat will
Yeah.
skinny like Regina Cooney.
My you stars. My you stars. Yes. My you stars. Soul Eater, definitely like top 50, top 10. Top 10 for sure. Top 10. Top 10. Maka, we need more appreciation for Soul Eater. That's all I'm gonna say. A lot of folks don't really care about Soul Eater like that no more. They all about the big flash and don't really care about story. They just like big flash. Story be trash, but animation good. Hero, Demon Slayer, Solo. But with that being said, use this channel gonna be linked down below along in the video. Make sure you go show some love, hit the sub button, all the good stuff, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.